That says what, but it should say who. How you doing over there, Miss Yvonne?
I am well, thank you. I'm just getting my space together here. I need a little extra air. You know, I'm a woman of a certain age, so
That's that's perfectly fine, perfectly fine. Okay, so look, I know other people are chatting and people are chiming in too, but I'm just going to go ahead and start reading these. So, it's so important to be intentional about where you are. And so many times we forget to be grateful for where we are and just count our blessings. And sometimes we get so overwhelmed with all the things that are required of us. And we just, need to take a pause sometimes. So Miss Yvonne said that she's a founder and consultant of Yvonne Tate Virtual Service Provider from Brooklyn, baby. Yes. I strategically empower and partner with other entrepreneurial leader legacy building Black women owned businesses who need high level, not low level, but high level admin, creative and technology support that fill the gaps and structure their businesses into a holistic ecosystem while they make that word pivot. That word pivot. So yes. Okay. Thank you, Miss Yvonne, and welcome. And you said that you're grateful for opportunities and your word for the year is provision. All right. So my name is Dr. Andrea Blue, and the name of my business is Blue Pathways. We serve youth, girls, and women of color worldwide. I'm grateful for another day to be alive as I lost two brothers within 6 months of each other. My word for the day is execution. Let's get going. All right, where you at, Jill? Can you come off and read yours? Because I wanted to have the same flow that you have, that you wrote it. Here we go. Are you able to come off of mute? Maybe she stepped away. Okay, so I'll read hers then. Jill, Integrity Research and Development and Balance Innovation Center, Medical Device Inventors, startups globally. She's doing good today. All right. Well, welcome, Jill.
Oh, you know what? I'm here. I didn't go anywhere.
Oh.
It's like I kept hitting the unmute and it wasn't unmuting. So yeah.
That's okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah. I serve medical device startups and inventors and help them get through the product development cycle. Most of them believe that the regulatory path is just their submission and there's a lot more to it. And so that's what I do, is to help with that. And I appreciate anyone and everyone who is trying to make this a better world.
Yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Well, welcome to you. And I hope I read it the way that you wrote it with
I'm an engineer. We're bullet point, it's just not a lot of words.
To the point. All right, Melody, where are you at?
Well, as you can see, I love the energy I feel on here. My name is Melody Graddick with Excel Mill LLC. I go by the pronouns she, her, hers, and I serve both public and private sector. The premise of our business is to empower teams to excel. I am grateful to meet dynamic persons influencing change in the workplace, and my word for today is I am elated.
I am elated. I love it. I love it. Mr. Jones, are you in the room?
Yes, hello.
Hi.
I'm Melvin Jones. So my organization is Grand Valley State University. I serve the GVSU community and the general public. I am grateful for my family today and always just grateful to wake up and see another day in general. My word, or the thing that best describes me, is just probably regular. Like I feel good. I'm even. So that's me in a nutshell.
Even.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
I love it. I love it. Very good. Very good. All right. Miss Katrina.
Hello, I'm Katrina B. Girl. I work for Junior Achievement of the Michigan Great Lakes, and we serve youth K through 12, and we teach them financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and work readiness skills. And I'm grateful for my mother-in-law who watches my 4-month-old, so I'm able to work. And I'm feeling excited, just feeling good about the year.
I know that's right. Me too. That's how I feel too. All right. Zara, are you here? You said you think you're muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think I'm off mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So
Great.
you could just answer the questions if you want that are on the screen.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Zara Persig, and I work for InSync Training. We enable companies worldwide across all time zones and in multiple languages to achieve virtual training excellence. Let's see. So, I serve students worldwide. Um, and enabling experiences in the virtual classroom that are just as engaging and enriching as would be an in-person experience. I'm really grateful today to be on this call and hear your stories, be with such dynamic individuals. And my word of the day would be motivated. I'm really motivated by I found you on the WeBank preview to the conference. I'm really excited and motivated to attend again this year in Nashville and meet you all hopefully. And really motivated to hear more about what you do, because it was inspiring to me when I sort of saw your story in the chat on that last week's conference.
Wonderful. Well, welcome,
Thank
fellow
you.
WeBank. Yes. So
Thank you.
everyone in here, they're not WeBank. This is but they can be if you are a woman-owned business with 50% woman-owned and you are looking to grow your business. Hit me up. I'll get you connected with to start to get that funding, like government program funding and things like that. I could assist you with that. All right. So Liliana.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. So Liliana Bernal, I own a recruiting firm and I focus on diversity recruiting. And today I'm in California. So I'm just grateful that the rain has stopped here and the sun is out.
Yeah, honey, because we got snow.
Mm-hmm.
We have snow. But welcome. Thank you. To anyone else, if I missed you, please feel free to put it in the chat, but I do want to move forward. But I like to just set the stage for today and to make sure that everyone is their voices are heard. So let's see.
Can I say quickly?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Myself, Jyoti Jaswal. I'm in Long
Oh,
Island,
hi,
New
Jyoti.
York. Hi. So I'm in Long Island, New York, and the name of my purpose-driven and social enterprise is Om Sutra. And I work with the marginalized women groups and artisans of India. And I work both like wholesale and retail. And I'm grateful for my family and happy to be here today and looking forward to connect with you all. And the word of the day today for me is blessed. I'm feeling blessed.
Ooh, that's my
Yes.
word. Yes, we are blessed. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Lawrence Blue. You're on mute. There you go.
Oh yeah, difficult finding the button from time to time. Hello, everyone. My name is Lawrence Blue, and to answer the question, I'm trying to move this thing out of the way. I'll go from here. Okay, well, like I said, my name is Lawrence Blue, and and my organization is Right Away Insurance Agency. Okay, we serve individuals and groups in need of financial and insurance protection. Okay, I'm grateful for good health at this stage of the game and the strength to continue on. Honesty would be my word for the day because this world could benefit from it, most definitely.
Absolutely. Did I miss anyone that's in the room right now? If I did, please forgive me. Charge it to my head, not my heart. Welcome to everyone. I like to always do that so that we can kind of shake the nerves off and get going. So let's talk about our guiding principles today. We're going to focus on confidentiality, respect for each other, communication, open, and be open and supportive, because there's someone right here in this room that has what you need, and it's so important to connect with them. Get their addresses. This is not one of those groups where you can't get people's addresses and phone numbers and things like that and connect outside. That's what this is about. Commitment to be here and share, and cooperation. Selling is prohibited during this meeting. So we just don't want you to try to sell your services during this meeting. But if you have someone that needs what you have, then absolutely connect on the outside of that. Okay. Yes. Thank you for that, Ms. Yvonne. So we always like to tell you who we are. So first of all, we have Mr. Lawrence Blue. We are partners in what we do. So we go around the world. We travel around the world. We travel to Dubai and France and places to share the story. We've gone on cruises to share the story with individuals to be able to help them to level up, to get to their next steps in life. So first of all, I would like for him to introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about himself.
Hello again, and good afternoon, everyone. My name again is Lawrence Blue. See, I'm the CEO and founder of a right-of-way insurance agency. I'm also a real estate investor. And I'm also a motivator for our youth. I try and be a role model, and I'm real big on a plan. Putting a plan together, and and following the plan, because I believe that everything worthwhile begins with the plan. If you're looking to travel somewhere, if you have a plan, if you have it planned out, you can get there a lot faster and more efficient, in a more efficient manner. And efficiency becomes something that lives with me, because my background is engineering. I was electrical and computer engineering, and and I added finance and insurance, and so it made more sense, and that's where I find myself currently. I've been doing it, man, since, wow, I would say, back in the early '90s, and to this day, you know, um, I find myself at a place to where, in life, I find the age, the years creeping up on me, to where I have like more behind me than I see in front of me, and so that puts me into a mode of wanting to mentor and share my knowledge, that I've acquired over the years, and thusly, that's why I'm here.
Right. He is a great mentor. He's downplaying himself, but if you need someone to speak to young men, especially young men of color or young men, period, Mr. Blue would be your person. So you can connect with him as well. Can you put your link to your bio or the way to connect with you, Mr. Blue, in the chat? That would be amazing. So who am I? I'm definitely not going to share all of this. I'll just give you a synopsis. 15 plus years behind education, business, and management. Again, I travel all over the world. We're sharing our 12 plus city tour to bring roundtables and share this information with people. Our avatars are youth, girls, women of color, because we know that 65% of our girls are usually expelled from school for attitudes, personality, or some type of personality conflict. I want to put that to an end, because they are our leaders and they are our future. So if you want to connect with me, my information will be here as well. Thank you, Edward, for putting your information there. This is our team. We have an amazing team. We don't do this work by ourselves. They are awesome, and they support us in all that we do. And we love, love, love them, and they are awesome. So I want to get to the question of today, which is the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. The goal is to be clear on the following. What is the concern? What are the suggestions? If there's anyone that wants to continue to join with us as future members of the roundtables, which are free. And also I want to talk about the format of how are we going to do this. So how are we doing this? I want to bring to your attention that we have programs and services throughout the year, but we break them down as all businesses do by quarter. So I will show you that information at the end, all the things that we have in place. So if you want to join us and you want to stay connected to us, you can join our newsletter right here. It is absolutely free to receive a list of our upcoming events. And also, if you would like to share information about your events, you can also just send me an email to this link right here to this to my email here. So I will also put that information in the chat. All right. So to become a member of the Roundtable is just as simple as sending an email to myself or Mr. Blue. But what are we talking about today? Our open discussion is actually talking about brainstorming and which is a roundtable that's used to plan for success and our next steps. So we are creating roundtable discussion today so that we're really engaging individuals. And you don't have to be a woman to be part of this. You can be someone that has a heartbeat, because we know that as we grow, there are going to be times that you're going to get stuck. You're going to feel like you're all alone and you can't do it by yourself. And that's exactly what this group is for. So the issue is, in my opinion, is that there is a lack of support for CEOs, small business owners, and solopreneurs. So how can each of us support your business? And our issue is presenting a hands-on program to the youth to grow entrepreneurship. And how can your organization assist us in reaching youth in your area? And the thing that Mr. Blue wants to talk about is families have a lack of adequate insurance to cover emergencies and final expenses. So we want to talk about that right now. We want to really, and I don't believe in putting people in what do you call those groups or whatever. I just believe in having open discussion and really talking about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Well, maybe not stay sharing my screen. Let's see if I can stretch this out, because I want to be able to have this conversation with you. And let's start with the first issue. Anyone could come off of mute and you can talk about this topic. So if you are a small business owner, let me see you use the icon that a small business owner or CEO or a solopreneur. Let me see you use the icon with the thumbs up.
Oh, they're animated. How cute.
Yeah, where is the icons for hands up?
I think they will be down at the very bottom.
Okay,
Look for
I'm not a
reactions.
person.
It's under the reactions tab.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Let's see, how many thumbs do I see? I don't see any thumbs yet.
They went away.
Oh, let's do it again. Okay, I was trying to fix my screen. I'm sorry.
Go.
Okay.
And I think Melody had a thumb up too.
Melody, you got a thumb up? Okay.
Yes, you can
But
also.
they don't stick, unfortunately.
I know they don't.
So as a suggestion, I've been on these so many times, you can have people add 1 or 2 in the chat.
Okay.
Because they go away so quickly.
All right. All right. Well, Melody, since you want to be Miss Chat Helper, how about you help me with the chat, honey? Because my assistant is not here today. I would appreciate it. So look, like Melody suggested, let's put a 1 if you're a business owner, a 2 if you're a CEO, or a 3 if you're a solopreneur, or a 4 if you're looking to have someone help you with your business that you may run with someone else. You don't have to be a business owner yourself. Okay, so let me see. Oh, somebody said 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Me, I'm all of them. I wear all the hats.
That's all of us. I'm a 1, I'm a 2, but we got a 4 in here.
Yes, I'm a 1, 2, 3, and I'm a 4, honey. So yes, because I work with other organizations too that I support as well. Yes. Hey, Jill, I saw you come off. So look, how can we support you? How can other people in this room right now, how can they support you? We can just do round robin. I don't like to call names. Just go ahead. You guys are big people. Who wants to start?
All right, I'll jump out here and shake this off and get it popping.
Keep it short and sweet, missionary Yvonne, please.
Okay. How I can be best help is high quality clients to match my service.
Okay. Okay. All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Yes.
I have two businesses, and so one of them is integrity research and development, and I am really bad at sales and marketing. So bringing on new clients is something I'm not really good at. So if anyone can help me with that, networking, any of that could help. And then for Balance Innovation Center, that I didn't really talk about when I did my introduction. We are in the process of trying to raise capital to start a venture studio for women and minorities for product development of medical devices. A big gap in our presence in that industry. And so I'm not good at raising capital either because I'm.
Okay. Do you have a nonprofit or do you have a for-profit?
Well, it's a for-profit for the venture studio, but we want to have a nonprofit associated with it where we would provide STEM mentorship, role models, and internships throughout the venture studio.
So if you don't have a nonprofit, I would definitely suggest that you do some research and try to get that, because there is funding available for you. So, and if you don't know how to do that, I can send you a link if you connect with me after this, so that you can go ahead and get that process started. No matter where you are, you can go ahead and do it.
Okay.
It is a little, there is some funds behind it, but if it's worth the cost to you, it is doable. And if I were you, I would do it.
Yeah, the challenge is that because the for-profit is really what feeds the nonprofit.
Yeah.
It's kind of the chicken egg thing. So, yeah, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, because the reason I say that is because I have a for-profit and I have a nonprofit. So I know that both, and it's not just for the funding piece. It's not that, but it also gives you other access to different types of people. It opens the door for you to sit at different tables that you wouldn't normally be able to sit at. So that's something that I would encourage you. Anybody have any other feedback for Jill or Yvonne so far? All right. Anybody else want to go next?
Well, I'll hop in here. I am, again, the CEO and founder of Excel Mill LLC, and we do all things training. And so we play both in the private sector as well as government contracting and some other things that we have. For me, it's the power of referral and the power of strategic partnerships. And so if you can kind of help in that capacity with referrals, so we have this line of business. I also am a Mary Kay independent consultant, which I don't do on a regular basis, but I do periodically as people order. So spread the word, and I'm connecting with most of you on LinkedIn. And so I would love to chat over virtual coffee.
Absolutely. And I would love to bring you to one of our retreats that we do. We have a mommy and daughter retreat coming up, coming in March. So if you all have women and you have a little daughter of any age, it doesn't matter, bring them to the retreat. I have a special guest speaker that is so awesome. She's coming from far, far away to do this event for me. So this will be amazing. So if you're not a part of our network on our newsletter, now is the time to do that so that you can get connected. Yes, you're very welcome. Let's see. So our issue, anybody else want to talk about it? What do you need?
So can I go next?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in the chat, I did mention about the grant because we are looking for funds. That is more critical. And also we are into recently I got certified with the New York City to work with the government. So we do custom manufacturing and private labeling. So if we can get any referral in that reference where we are working with different brands and businesses, offering them their if they have an idea or a product that they want to bring it into reality or sketch, we make that happen. So like customizing t-shirts or bags and things like that is what we do as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And what state are you in?
New York.
New
I'm in
York.
Long Island. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So yeah.
Thank you. I know that there is funding available, and some of us, we get burned out on trying to find that funding. But if you
Yeah.
connect with resources that are like this and stay
Mm-hmm.
connected,
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I can lead you into the right direction. And if I don't know, I will find out for you because
Yeah. Thank you.
as part of WeBank, and if you're not a WeBank person and you are a person that is looking to grow your business, it will be so important to find out what that process looks like and
Uh-huh.
to get connected because that is a huge. I was just on a meeting before connecting with this, how we're getting ready for the national conference. So it would be so important that if you're feeling like you're alone and you're by yourself, there's so many people out here
Mm-hmm.
that can support you. I would
Yeah.
definitely share
Thank you.
that, Ms. Siobhan.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Yeah,
Anyone
because like
else?
we have the potential, but funding is something that's inhibiting us to progress and grow.
Yeah, we don't want that to be, the reason that you don't grow your business because there are
Yeah.
ways to do it. I
Yeah.
sold
Yeah.
fried chicken. I sold chicken dinners. I've done a plethora of things to, to grow my business from the grassroots. So how right, Zara, you laughing at me, but I didn't care and I'm not ashamed of it. And I still would do that if if it gets to the point where I have to, because however I need to get the people in the room, that will be, that's important to me because if you like chicken, you like, what are those cake pop things? I sell those too. If you like those, hey, I'll sell those to get you in the room because I have a message that I have to tell you. And if I don't tell you, then I'm going to be remiss and miss out on my blessing. So we want to make sure. What about you over there, Edward? I know that you are um working at GVSU, but what are you doing over there too?
Well, I think from a business standpoint, so I am an entrepreneur, but like I think it's more of a supplemental type of thing, like to add to my income. My issue probably is time. I don't have a lot of time to run some of my businesses. I actually have a digital marketing company. I was actually doing quite well, but um, I didn't have the ability to actually do some of the things. Even if I were to hire temps, like there's like a training piece. So I think that's probably the biggest thing on my part, on my end rather.
Yeah, because that time piece is everything, But when you work at a full-time business, a lot of us as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, we have that, that extra luxury of out here on the hunt. We have
Right.
our spear in hand every day, we're ready to, get out and find that. Whereas, you guys have it where you can go, but that doesn't mean that it's less work because you're serving too. You're serving just in a different capacity. So I appreciate you. And if I could do anything to help you and support you, then I definitely will, because whatever that, I always like to have people have that entrepreneurial mindset. Don't just think about the job, because what if you walk in one day and they're like, you know what, Dr. Blue, we no longer need you. Like I work at Grand Valley too. I'm an adjunct. And I
Yeah.
was all set to work. And then they tell me, hey, guess what? We don't have, enrollment is low. So we can't use you right now. So, I was like, okay, well, I got to put on my hunting hat and my
Yeah.
fishing gear, and I got to get out here and I got to hit it. So that's what I did, and we know that where I'm at, and you're in Grand Rapids too, it's a little saturated in my space. So I have to go out and I have to go different
Yeah.
spaces. That's another conversation for another
Yeah.
day.
No,
But
but absolutely.
yeah, but
Absolutely.
I want to tell you that I'm here to support you however I can too. What about you, Katrina and Liliana?
I'm waiting for bullet point number 2. I feel like
Okay.
that's my wheelhouse. Because I'm not a CEO or small business owner.
Okay.
So
No worries. No worries. What about you, Liliana?
I am a business owner, so I'm just here to kind of listen to potentially different
Okay.
different networks or different resources. Like the digital, right? The digital marketing. I mean, I'm always looking for just different components of the business, but then I'm also here just to network. As I said, diversity of recruiting is one of my focuses. So if anybody knows anybody that's looking for work or anything, I want to be a resource.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Who put that in the chat? I love you. You are amazing, Queen. Who put that in there? Zara, where are you at? Okay. That is WeBank. That is the network
Thank
for
you.
women business owners that are looking to grow their businesses. Yes. And I tell you, it is awesome. So there you go, Miss Yvonne. Grab that link so that you can get connected. And if you need help, it is a long, drawn out process. It took me almost 5 months to get certified, but when I tell you it's worth it, I tell you it is awesome, and I'm so glad that I did. Okay, so my issue is with Blue Pathways is that presenting a hands-on program. So what I've done is I've added that nonprofit piece to my business. So I have a piece where I'm teaching our youth how to do some things hands-on. So what I'm asking for is how you can help me to bring these services to your area, and what suggestions do you have for me as I build up the youth? Because when I think about us, some of us are a little older, some of us are in the middle, and some of us haven't been around youth in a while, or we deal with youth on a regular and we're like, you know what, I know what they need. But really, I'm building forums so that we can sit down and have a conversation with them. What do you want? So many times we build programs and things for them, and they don't want it. They're not interested in it. It's not something that they even ask for. So how can I build these forums within your organizations or with you if you have some youth? That's what I'm asking for. So how can you help me do that?
I have a couple questions. I'm an executive coach, so you'll hear a lot come out. Is what is your level of partnership with local community colleges and their different pathways?
I am connected with everyone that you can that you can think of. Part of Youth Solutions, quite a few organizations, Michigan Works, all of that, where they connect with the schools. I'm in the schools all the time too, but we know that there has been a loss of learning too due to COVID. And so what they're saying to me is, it's not that we don't want you, Dr. Blue, but we want we need to get these young people back onto the wave of getting regular back into school. They had a bit of like students just going online and things like that too. So yes, there is a big connection with these schools, not just in Michigan, but I go to different schools, especially our HBCUs. I'm really connected with them too.
Is there an
Yes.
age range that you are focused on?
Yes, middle through all the way through 25. So whatever middle is. So
Like
yes,
seventh,
Miss. Huh?
Are you looking at like 13, 14 through
Yeah.
20?
Yeah. So I want to catch them right before they get that work permit, which is what, 15, and then teach them some skills about before they go into these jobs. I don't want you to go into McDonald's. I don't have anything against McDonald's, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against Burger King, none of that, but I want your mind to be elevated. I want you to think about some other things that you could do with your hands. And so I have quite a few projects that I have going for them that they can really get going, but I need to be in the room with them, and I really need to, talk to them and find out where they are. Now, I will go to their little
Yeah.
gaming rooms. I don't mind going to their little gaming
How
rooms
about
and things like that too.
I have one
What
thing to
about
suggest.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay, you can go. That's fine.
what about trade organizations? The school system is designed to churn out employees.
Right. Right.
You
My
let them know that they have other options.
Mhm.
yeah.
And as I understand it, there's I don't know, fewer tradespeople, or it's
Um,
being a tradesperson is also an option to go into business for yourself. It's
Mhm.
also an option for
Yes.
mentorship. You learn to do stuff with your hands besides this, because and I bring that up because I actually went to Job Corps And that is where I got my administrative training from. Because I was bored with school, so I kind of like ditched out and ducked out and just like, eh. But where I learned my trade was Job Corps.
Okay.
And because it was an option. And I excelled, if I must say so myself. But having that option and that opportunity, I think it's been ignored. And I think that that's a good niche, a good crevice for you to work into.
Okay. I
Well,
totally agree.
wow. I'm going to piggyback off of Yvonne. I have been to Northern Virginia Workforce Index, which was the Regional Economic Development Report yesterday. Sat next to someone that I got an email today because of, again, this digital divide, the gaps, and the talent, and literally the apprenticeships and internships kept coming up. It was a recurring theme in the conversation so that we can promote not just the traditional educational pathway, because not every youth that we know from different backdrops will go to college, but the electrical engineer still working all throughout COVID. Your plumber still working throughout COVID. So there are alternatives. The merchant marine making more than some people that's working at a regular job. And also I would advocate not only for the apprenticeships, Job Corps, but DOL, Department of Labor, has Job Corps in it to partner with the representative that works directly at Department of Labor. I'm stationed, well, we retired here in Virginia, so I'm right here at the hub of the government. There is so much accessible to the youth when we expand what we offer them. And I will also be a proponent and an advocate for county government and state government. They can actually have jobs or training working with their state officials, which is not McDonald's, Burger King, because the people I see on Capitol Hill that are less than, like, not even 24 years old are going with their representatives on internships at the state or actually at Capitol Hill. So there are alternative pathways beside, so that's the political science vein that we want to push our children, or at least promote and incentivize them to pursue.
Oh, I lost somebody.
Okay, so
Yes.
can I
Okay,
say?
sorry about that. Is your name Joy?
Jyoti.
Jyoti. Okay. Sorry about that. Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Melody. I heard you.
So what I feel like for the youth of today, it's very important that they, other than the academic, it's important that they learn about the entrepreneurial skill and to have the decision making capability that needs to be taught, because that will go in the long run. And this way they are, when they're having a job, or once they are done with their education, they don't have to rely on someone else in earning a livelihood for them, and they are self-sufficient to do something on their own as well.
I totally agree. I totally agree. That's
So
what I want. I don't want them to have to
Like
rely
not
on
on
someone
other
else.
people for their own livelihood. So like
Yes.
my thing, I want people to be self-reliant and not to depend on another people to earn a livelihood for themselves and making their life better. They have the capability in themselves, and each individual, if you see, they have a different talent. Each one, like they have their talent of their own. So there should be someone who can identify the talent and help the children to understand like what kind of talent they would like to learn that they can enjoy at the same time, and learn how to use that talent to earn a livelihood for themselves and grow a better life and sustainable one for themselves.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Edward?
yeah, so I was actually a consultant for like a small nonprofit that was dedicated to like STEM, but in particular for like children of color. And I had presented something to him, and I don't think he could wrap his mind quite around what I was saying. So when you're marketing or trying to attract, right? Or if you have an inbound marketing strategy, which I'm recommending that you probably should have, right? Because if you want children, you probably need to go where they are, and they're all online.
Right.
So you should probably have some type of inbound marketing strategy. But I was explaining to him that what he was presenting does not work for the age demographic that he was trying to reach, because he was creating the content that he would like. And I almost recommended, I actually did recommend, I actually had him watch a Ryan's World video. I don't know if you guys know who Ryan's World is.
Yeah.
But I actually had him watch a video, and I was trying to show him if he can have someone that looks like the people that he's trying to connect with, and do like a YouTube video or something like that, and reach him that way. You could do your inbound marketing strategy. And that's how he could go about getting more children to be interested in his programs. Somewhat similar to this, right? So when you're talking about like trade schools and things like that, which is something I also endorse, because we need plumbers right now, like legitimately. We need jobs, and these jobs are reliable too. And you can also, if you got some hustle about yourself, you can own your own business too. But these jobs aren't necessarily a reality to people. When I talk to some young men, and even women of color, like I talk to them about, I'm like, what's your plan? I'm like, well, I don't want to go to college. I already hate school. But their parents are forcing them to go to school anyways. And they're going to school, and they're failing out like the first year, and then they're getting demotivated, and it's like this weird cycle thing. To avoid a long rant, I think one way that I can help you, obviously working at GVSU, but it sounds like the target, for lack of a better term, because it's late in the day and my brain is a little fried, but for lack of a better term, it sounds like your target is a little younger. So if your target is younger, I would say that your target isn't really the children. It's actually probably their parents, because the parents are probably going to be influencing them. The best way to find those parents are probably going to be on Facebook, because if you look at trends, Facebook is probably that demo on that age group that is going to hit everybody, especially people of color, single moms, things like that. So that's probably who you need to be reaching out to. I would say that you probably need a solid inbound marketing strategy to go with that too, but really it's going to be about education, because they just don't it's hard to present something that's not like a reality for you. Like I was talking to somebody about getting a heating, like HVAC. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, man, you can go get you an HVAC license and you can make like 60 a year. Like, and he was like, really? I was like, yeah, man. He was like, but I gotta go to school. I was like, nah, like you can, like my dad did that, man. You can go do that, and it'd probably take you maybe 6 months, maybe. But they don't, they just don't know about these things. So you'd have to have,
because who do they see doing it? They don't see people of color doing it, and they don't, so that therefore they don't think that it's possible. So
yeah, I'm gonna jump all over this and say that yes, we need to let them know that these things are possible. Just literally just ask a child what they want.
But you know something that we
used most children are not used to anybody listening to them
or asking them.
So literally just ask them what they want. And even if you don't get a response, they're gonna start thinking about it, like, well, damn, somebody actually asked me. Let me think about it.
Well, I think
there are options. We do not have to continue to do what we've been doing because it's not working.
I think one of the biggest challenges, and you know, speaking from personal experience, I'm an engineer, and I had no idea what an engineer did when I graduated from high school. I think there's so much that we have the talent to do, but you have to love what you do. And so that's where, like, if you want an education, if you don't know what you can do with it, if you don't really love what you're learning, then you're not going to be motivated to do it. And it's more about, what are you good at? What do you love to do? Because you can have a job you don't necessarily like the people you work with. But if you love what you do, you're going to, you know, push through any kind of adversity for however long you can. And I think a lot of it is a gap in what possibilities are there from a career perspective for the youth. Because so many people just get a job. If they go to college, I'm going to get a business degree. I'm going to get, you know, a poli-sci degree or whatever, but they don't even think about what they're going to do with it and whether or not they really love what they're going to, you know, their career is going to be.
You know, because so many times they get pushed out into these things, and, you know, after teaching at Grand Valley, it's so many of them come to college. They have no clue. All they know is that my mom said I need to go to college, and so therefore here they are, you know. And a lot of them are just ready to get out of the home too. So therefore, they hurry up and sign up to go to college. But I always tell youth when I'm mentoring them that you have to have a reason to attend. Like, are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a lawyer? What are you going to do? You know, you can't just go and then, because we know the norm is that they change their degree at least 3 times. So that means that those classes that they've taken are just flushed down the toilet. A lot of times they can't even use them for, you know, electives. So the thing is, I don't want people to have to experience the things that I had to go through. And there are a lot of our parents of color have not gone to college. They've been working, putting their head down, trying to make sure that there's bread and food and water and gas and lights and things in the home, you know, so they're taking care of the basic needs. And I'm not knocking anybody that has done that, but our youth has so many different options and different opportunities, and we want to make sure that they are available to them. So before I move on, I want to stop and Melody, I know that I saw your hand up for a moment too.
Toyota's has been up longer than mine, and so I want to give that space to her. She did have.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. I thought she talked already. Yehoda?
Yeah.
Joy-T?
Jyoti.
Joy-T.
Oh, okay. I was not sure. I was.
She was like, "Who is Yehoda?"
No, I was been given opportunity before, but I feel like it's very important. The clarity is needed. Like for my son, like he wants to do business, but when I ask him what kind of business, the clarity is not there. So that kind of clarity is important for the student to know before they are picking what kind of subject they are going to take in their high school, because based off that, what kind of life they want to lead and what kind of thing they love and enjoy doing, that should be kind of a thing they should be taught, like, right after the middle school, so that they can pick their subject options accordingly, whether they want to go in, like, like engineering, being a lawyer, or all the different kind of options they have to pick from.
Absolutely. But they don't know, because they used to do careers of choice, but I don't even know, do they do that anymore, Edward?
Yeah, but they don't, like, if they're, what are the different kind of job opportunities they have? Like if they want to do business, like what are the options they have doing, like learning business? It's only about learning business, how to do the transactions and financial things. No, there are different types. What are the different ways they can start their own business, or they can work for other businesses? What are the different, like branches? That is what they need to know before they pick. And this way, like, they won't feel when they are done with their education, they will feel happy about doing the job, not being, oh, we have to do because we have to earn a livelihood. Not for that reason. It would be something that they're enjoying. And this way, like, when we talk about the long run, the job dissatisfaction, and there are so many things that that comes later in life can be avoided if the roots of picking the right kind of job and subjects and education, I think those things are important. Thank you.
You're right. You're right. All right, Melody.
I think the thing that I was going to add to that is because of my mind was just going like this. So there are so many different assessment tools, from a passion to strength finders to literally, like I see, and I want to say that maybe a whiteboard behind you, Edward. But if you have a whiteboard, it's an ideation session, and you're literally just taking their ideas and putting on that whiteboard and mapping out what's your passion, what are you naturally gifted at. What is something that you see yourself doing? Like they can like a visualization exercise, right? And then that's the active listening of, here's what I'm most interested in. But this all brought me back to my upbringing, where we went on field trips. And taking them to a, hey, shadow a electrician for a day, shadow a merchant marine for a day, if they have a program where they allow youth to come on and shadow them in their workplace. Because when you're there and you see the activity and the engagement going on, it could turn into, hey, if you keep coming back, we're going to put you on an internship. So maybe 1 week out the summer or 2 weeks out the summer, they intern with this particular, whether it's an electrician, a plumber, any of those type of trade occupations. And that gives them that real nuts and bolts. hands-on, just like going and volunteering at your local county from a civic standpoint and seeing the ins and outs of that day to day. And at least for me, it gives them that exposure, which again something will click. This is what I want to do.
Absolutely. I totally agree. That's why I like to do those forums with youth, and you can start on one subject with them sometimes and it turns into a whole, let's do this, and then, it turns into a strategy session of they really, are excited about stuff, but then it turns into where's transportation and all this other stuff. But I really wanted to ask that question because
if I can get in.
Yeah, hold on just a second. I really wanted to ask that question because as moving to 2023, into 2023, people are saying how terrible our youth are and how there's really no hope for them and they're bad. And you know what I'm saying? You always have like a couple apples in there, that can be a little, need some help. But for the most part, there are some really bright young people out here, and all we need to do is kind of massage their heart, mind, body, and soul, and let them know that there is, there's hope for you. And it just doesn't have to be like, it was for your mom. It doesn't have to be like it was for your dad, because your future is your future. And all you have to do is, you make one mistake. Sometimes it can mess you up, but sometimes you could be forgiven. But then all at the same time, there are consequences to the choices that we make. So trying to catch them before they start getting into those things. So yes, Mr. Blue.
Man, I'm just sitting here taking all this wonderful knowledge in, looking for my end to pounce, but but and all of what has been said has taken me all the way back to when I was in the 11th grade. And what had happened in my case was I was approached by a mentor, which was a gentleman that I had come across in church, and he asked me, in fact, it all started with just a question. He said, "What are you going to do when you get out of school?" Okay, and and I gave him the average, kid answer. Well, I'm gonna get a job. What am I supposed to do? So, what kind of job are you going to get? I said, well, I'm gonna do whatever, man. If I got to work at McDonald's or go to White Castles or something, I mean, I'm gonna do what I got to do. He said, well, how about you take a look at what I'm doing? I'm like, well, what are you doing? He said it takes him 5 minutes to do all the work that that he has to do in 8 hours. I'm like, 5 minutes? Well, what are you doing? He demonstrated. He said, hey, you see this finger here? I'm like, yeah, what about it? He said, watch it because you're gonna miss it. He did like this here. I'm like, so what was that? He said, well, did you see it? He said, hey, I'm gonna do it again. He said, I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He himself was a boil operator, and he had his job was to go in and heat up schools for for the students, for the faculty and all this type of thing. And when he pointed me in that direction, he told me, he said, look, it all starts with a book. And he did this with multiple people. And there was like multiple people who had purchased the book. See, but what he didn't do was he didn't propel me to read the book. I had to find it within myself to pick the book up and read it on my own. Okay, which I did. And just having that conversation with him, it placed me on a path for 20 years of working inside of a power plant. So I mean, currently, okay, I mean, I'm still like a power plant, operator. I can go in. As a matter of fact, I've like, you know, I was electrical system supervisor. I given like the people, the people who worked in the underground. I gave them their instructions. They were like my eyes and ears out in the field. The overhead linemen, they were used. I used them to help me troubleshoot electrical circuits and problems. When Christmas time rolled around, when the mayor had to light the tree, okay, we were on the phone, waiting for them to give us a signal for when the mayor hit the button, and we throw on the switch. If we miscued, it wasn't a good look. But at the same time, that all began with one question. What are you going to do when you get out of school? And I say that to say this, with respects to the youth and where we find them, okay, they need the same type of mentors. Okay, it's one thing to take and like point a person and say, well, what are you going to be? Are you going to be a doctor, or you're going to be a nurse, or you're going to be a rocket scientist? You're going to be, a person who gets off an artificial intelligence. You can make the robots smarter and want to take us out. Okay, but whatever it is, you know, instead of just saying it to them, you got to take them by the hand. Say, look, okay, but at the same time, you don't want to baby them. Okay, you want to pique their interest and let what's inside of them, their character and their heart, take charge and and propel them through it. Because unless it comes from them, it's not going to last. And so, I mean, I don't want to get preachy or anything here,
Yeah.
but I'll be the first to tell you that having a good mentor, and really just somebody to point them in a direction. Because just like when I was in school, in fact, actually when I was growing up, in fact, I think all of us could attest to this. The folks said, hey, look, you go to school, your job is to go to school, get your education, so you can get a good job. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, that sounded good, at the time when I didn't have, the potential of making any money, but once I got there, then it was a different look. I mean, as far as like being able to pay the bills, yeah, I mean, it was good for that. But is that all that you want? And that's where this type of form comes into play, because we have that piece to offer them that will allow them to transcend the glass ceilings that these so-called like jobs and positions offer. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit them in any way, but their their ability to produce is limited. Okay, we want to take those limits off. You know, um, Although with those, yeah, with the limits being removed, comes a certain degree of responsibility, respect, and also humility, because it's easy to go ahead and acquire a few dollars or whatever, a little piece of semblance of power, and your head gets so big you can't fit into the room anymore. As a matter of fact, you get to the point to where you don't even to where people can't tell you anything. You're haughty. I did all of this, when in actuality it all happened on the backs of giants to begin with.
Right.
So in essence, that's more or less my little piece that I wanted to contribute.
So look, I told you Mr. Blue is he's dynamic. It's like ragu, it's in there. So I wanted to, save him for last, because I want him to do a segue into the thing that, like I said, I lost two family members back to back, right, within 6 months. And that was right here, right before the end of the year, and just right here in January. So it wasn't like a long time ago, but we don't lay around and we don't, we cry for a moment, we miss them, but then at the same time, what is the plan for the family? What is your plan? You have to have a plan for the family. And I know that this may resonate with some of you, and some of you know about GoFundMe for people that, have been passed away. And we want to put an end to that, especially for our people of color. That is the worst thing, because that is socially irresponsible. So I want Mr. Blue to take about 3 or 4 minutes, and I want him to talk about the lack of adequate insurance to cover like emergencies, and, talk about that final expense piece and how he helps families in Michigan to do that.
Okay, I'm back. Hey, look, guys. First and foremost, you know, um, I am definitely not one of those type of people that would you know uh, uh, um, that looks at like insurance as being something that's like dry and I mean, you can get it off the TV and be good. For me, everything has to make sense. You know, um, and Dr. Blue, she mentioned, how people, how you see, people with this, GoFundMe, to get somebody out of here. Okay, that says to me that there wasn't a plan in place. You know, and honestly, I'm getting to the point to where I'm starting to feel like tapped out because I mean, yeah, I mean, you're sorry, to see him go, but at the same time, you know, um, why is it at my expense, or why is it at everybody else's expense, especially when everything else is going up, all around us, you know, um, and it gets to the point to where you know, to where it becomes more obvious that we have to be more, conscious of what our responsibilities are. And one of the best and biggest positive responsibilities that I see is insurance. Okay, now the thing that kills me is that with respects to insurance, when people think about it, they think about it in the sense of somebody having to fade out or whatever, and then before you can go ahead and use it. Okay, which is not the case. I mean, because say for example, if you the only reason that we're able to do what we do today is because of the health and the strength that we have, and the mental capacity to be able to do it. Okay, but if something happens to any of that, I mean, our finances, the ability to bring that in, could be like gravely reduced or eliminated. Okay, which means that hey, we have to be able to like protect. Really, it's like protecting our paychecks or protecting our business. If we have business partners, we can, the insurance could also be part of that. To where because I mean, because when you look at like survivorship, in like a partnership with like a husband and a wife, that also occurs in a business too. I mean, if you got like two or more partners, okay, I mean, all you guys should be covered because you want the business to thrive, okay, regardless as to what happens. And at the same time, there should be a plan in place because everything begins with the plan, and that's exactly where I begin. It doesn't matter which stage of life you're in. I mean, when you're younger, you know, the risk because in fact it's all centered around a risk and and how the risk impacts the company. And so when you're younger, they look at you, well, hey, chances are this person's going to live past 10 years. Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah, okay, so then yeah, they'll sell this person a 10-year like term policy or whatever because with them doing that, there's a slim chance that they're going to have to pay off on it. See, but what happens during the 10 years? Okay, they end up paying out all this money and they don't have anything to show for it, nothing. you know and then too when you like look on the other end of the spectrum, say like the people who have failed to plan but find that they're way up the stream. Now all of a sudden, you know uh, um they're sitting back and they're trying to figure out, well, I don't want to burden everybody. I mean some people they don't care. They're like, well, hey, when I go, hey, it is what it is. But how responsible is that? Especially when especially when what you do impacts other people. So this is about being like mindful. It's about being responsible, and then also when you look at it from the standpoint of like say like for life protection type purposes, it's really your last chance to give somebody or do like somebody a last act of a last act from you. And so I mean there's like so many different ways that you can go with the insurance thing to where you know uh, um to where you really would have to have a conversation to cover it all. Because in business, as a matter of fact, people who are like financial savvy, okay, they would understand that what insurance is actually liquidity or money or equity. It's like instant equity. It's like you taking acquiring for yourself an amount of money, and you putting it up on the shelf, and to keep it up on the shelf, you pay a premium every month, and it's sitting there waiting for you whenever you're ready for it. See, but in business, okay, you can use that because when you go to when you go to a bank for a loan, okay, the first thing they say is, hey, what do you have as equity? It's like, well, I got my house, I might have some furs, my car is still pretty new. See, but they aren't worried about all that. When you tell them that you have like insurance, yeah, well, how much do you have? As a matter of fact, they've started showing like commercials. You're sitting on the goal line. Have you guys seen those commercials? See, but that's exactly what that is. So in essence, instead of like going and talking about this thing and drawing it all out, it's good to look beyond like the commercials. The gecko, I love him, but at the same time, hey, he's not giving you the full story. But yeah, this would definitely be something that we should be willing to like deep dive in, especially to like protect like our businesses. Because because people are so bent on like say like suing, and like trying to get everything that you have, and this is the one thing that could save you from all of that. So with that, I yield back. Dr. Andrea is all yours.
Okay. Yes. And I saw that Edward has to go. And I see, Yvonne, that you said that you have business liability insurance, but this is a little bit different. This is talking about your personal. So this is covering you for personal. But I don't want to like drag this out because I wanted to come today and have you all understand that, you know what, we can build in with a community of individuals that are like-minded, but also we need to get to the real subjects, right? The real conversations. We could talk about all the feel good stuff all day long, but talking about life insurance, talking about our youth, our women and our girls and of color and people that, you don't have to be of color, you don't have to be a woman, but to come to this table, to sit here and to have these conversations, it is so important today. And I hope that you were able to receive something from this conversation. I hope that you took Mr. Blue's information down. If you know that you need it or someone else may need your information, but then you may say, well, how can I serve you? Or how can I continue this work? These are the ways that you can do this work. I know that each one of you, because I see it on LinkedIn, how you've checked out my profile and you kind of look me up and see what I do. So these are some things that you can do to stay engaged with us. You can recognize our work, like, share, comment, post on our information. We invite you to invite us to be speakers for your next event. If you have an event that's coming up and you're looking for a keynote speaker, I would be more than happy to do that. Be our strategic partner by attending our events. A lot of our events are being held online right now, or you can just refer our services to organizational leaders that need our services. And also be our ally. And what is an ally? It is someone that is a helper or an assistant in those private places, in those we're doing your private conversations that are not like open out like this, but in those times when you're like with family and friends and things like that. Oh, I know a person that needs that could help you. So during this conversation, I thank each and every one of you, and some of you all had to go. We asked some clarifying questions. You raised your hand. You said, I know the answer. I know that I'm able to help. We added questions to the chat. We were open. Hopefully you were open to receive that feedback that you received. I asked you for your contact information. You were very silent and quiet and allowed the other person to receive. You shared your suggestions and your experience. And also, you allowed me to give you that feedback because I know some things, okay? I've been some places. Mr. Blue knows some things. He's been some places. So we're not just pulling stuff out. I've worked with some coaches that tell you stuff and think that you pay all this money and they tell you they have the answer and they have no clue. I'm not one of those people. If I don't know, I'm definitely going to find out for you. So in order for us to wrap up, I want to let you know that our next roundtable discussion will be just like this format. It will be February the 17th at 3 o'clock. You sign up, it is free, and it is on Zoom. So please feel free to join us. And there are ways that you can stay connected. So if you join us, I'm just going to scroll through these real quick. These are our January events. These are our February events that we have coming up. And then we have our March events that are coming up. There are too many to even mention because why? The work that we do is so intentional. And we only have so many heartbeats. We only have so many heartbeats and so many breaths to take in. So I want to make my life intentional about serving where I'm at. I can't travel every day to I just saw that where it was like 1,000 and something flights canceled today. What is that about? What is that about? Yes, you're at the airport, you got your little screaming baby, and then you're at the airport and it's screaming. No, and you can't go anywhere. You're just stuck. So I want to say to you that I'm intentional. Someone told me that I was a Headley, and I was like, what is a Headley? I had to look it up, and I had to find out what a Headley was. That is someone that thinks they know it all. No, I don't think I know it all. I have room to grow. I know they are, Yvonne. People are just, they just be doing too much. But I want to say to you, thank you very much for this great conversation. Thank you for building relationships with us, Liliana and Yvonne and Mr. Blue. I appreciate you so much because the work that we are doing is vital. So I did want to put that reference on there on what you think I stole that from the Webster Dictionary, but I want to say to you, thank you very much. So in closing remarks, Liliana, do you have anything to add for the good? I'm just going to go round robin around.
No, thank you. Just enjoyed the conversation. It was my first time, so just listening.
Perfect. Thank you. I hope you come again. Mr. Blue, any closing remarks?
No, not really. I mean, if anything, hey, thank you guys for showing up and being there for us. And like I said, I mean, anything that I can do to pour into you, or anything that I can do in way of service, or I mean, I'm willing to do. Conversely, I'm also willing to tap into you guys as well, because you guys have things going on that I'm sure that I will be able to use. So if anything, yeah, let's go ahead and you know and make use of each other.
Yep, stay connected. Miss Yvonne.
Thank you for inviting me. This has been enlightening. Hope I didn't come on too strong, but I do mean how I feel about disrupting the dynamic of the way things had worked, because they had not been in our favor. And we are more than capable of building, rather than waiting for permission or trying to get a seat at somebody else's table.
You speaking my love language over there. Yes. We've too often wanted to sit at the other table, someone else's table. Well, now it's time for us to build our table and invite people that are like-minded. And that's exactly what this roundtable discussion was today. If you must have felt something and that resonated with you and you came to the table and you ate today, and hopefully you can take and you can share it with someone else and invite them to the next one. So with that being said, thank you again for joining. If there's anything that you need of me, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the message that you'll receive after we end this live. So you guys have an amazing day and be well. Continue your work. So proud of you. Yes.
Nice to meet everybody.
Yes.
All right,
nice to meet you too.
Have a great afternoon.
Yes.
No. Bye.